right, what is up, everybody? Divine Hood here, coming at you with another daily update on Bitcoin and the crypto markets. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. We have hit 3,000 subscribers today. Thank you guys all so much for being part of this. I appreciate you all. Welcome in Crypto Clown World. Welcome in Samuel S., Crypto Wander, Bitcoin Buy Tech Club, Quiles 1100, Brent Adams, R Pink. Welcome in. Thank you so much for modding. Kajus, welcome in. It's good to see you. Travi Trades, welcome, buddy. Thank you so much on the congrats. Sudeep, welcome in. TNB, Willa, and Andrew, thank you guys for being here. Guys, we have a stream today. So if you watched yesterday's video, we were talking about a possible bounce from this area off the swing failure pattern of the lows, of the internal intraday lows. And we got that swing failure pattern. We were seeing some bullish divs on the chart. And if you go back and watch yesterday's video, I actually was looking for a move up to this 110.6 to now we went a little bit higher. We hit the golden pocket in confluence with that pitchfork, and I'm going to go into that in just a second. But we were looking for this key back test here, where if we do fail this back test, then I do suspect that Bitcoin could come down and make new lows and potentially even coming all the way back down to 96.5. So we are at a key area after holding and closing our daily candle above our anchored VWAP. So let me go ahead and hide some of the stuff on the screen real quick. We will look at that very key anchored VWAP. Let's grab this here, hide this real quick, and let's grab our little range and hide that. So here's the thing, guys. This is our key anchored VWAP from the 74K lows on Coinbase. It has not been touched the entire trend, the entire bullish trend to the upside until that crash happened a couple Fridays ago. And since then, we've kind of been chopping and forming a range down in this general area below our pitchfork. Now, this is very key. Last week, when we bounced after hitting and taking out wicking below the anchored VWAP, we were able to close the weekly candle above that VWAP, that anchored VWAP, which gave us some sign of hope that this overall bullish trend, the more macro bullish trend, could hold and we could come up towards new all-time highs. That is still a possibility, by the way, because this weekly candle is still above that area. But on the daily time frame, you can see we are kind of just chopping around here. And what we were looking for earlier in the week on Wednesday or Tuesday was the back test of our key anchored VWAPs. And it's three very key anchored VWAPs of what could be the start, a confirmation of our bearish trend. We have the anchored VWAP from our previous all-time high, the anchored VWAP from our current all-time high, and the anchored VWAP from the lows of the range before this last crash happened. And so very key high time frame swing areas where all three of those anchored key VWAPs, key anchored VWAPs were converging in a volume resistance area up here. Now we had a very harsh rejection from that area. If we zoom in onto the 4-hour time frame, when we came up into that area as we were looking for, we got the rejection. And the day before, actually it was on that Tuesday, we were looking for a potential flat correction where we could take out the highs right here locally and then come down and take out our lows locally. And we did that. We kind of saw that flat correction we were looking at come up to resistance, take out the highs, now come down and actually touch the anchored VWAP. Because if you remember Tuesday's live stream, we had front run that anchored VWAP touching of support, and we wanted to actually come back down and flip it to support. Since we broke back above it and closed the weekly candle above it, on Monday, we actually didn't back test it as support. We had front run that. So we were looking for a move up to resistance and then the actual back test of that anchored VWAP. We are getting that back test, and we've gotten that back test really Wednesday and today, both times on Wednesday. And we are getting that small push up from that anchored VWAP. In some respects, that means that we could remain bullish because we are holding above the anchored VWAP. But we were looking at a couple ranges, and these volume resistances are key resistances on the chart. So if I turn on our small range, that has just been, let's zoom in onto the 1-hour time frame. This has kind of been our upper range since the week for this week, since Sunday. We've kind of been in this flat corrective range in here. And so we're looking at this week's range for Bitcoin. And then if we zoom out just a little bit more and we look at the 3-month long range that Bitcoin has been in since the middle of July, Let me go ahead and turn that range on. You can see that the value area low of that range was where we are at right now. So value area high of our small range, value area low of our 3-month range. We had a new daily candle confirm there yesterday. And just above that, if we pull our golden pocket from the rejection highs on Tuesday from our key volume resistance down to our lows that we made yesterday, we turn on that golden pocket. Our golden pocket was just above in confluence with our pitchfork. Now, let's go into the pitchfork trading here real quick, because in pitchfork trading, let me hide these ranges now. In pitchfork trading, if you do lose a pitchfork, and you can see here, the pitchfork was holding through most of a couple weeks ago. Even when we got the crash down to the anchored VWAP, the candle bodies were closing and holding above that pitchfork for a whole week, for that whole entire dead cat bounce. We rejected the upper band. We came down to the bottom of the pitchfork, mini tested the bottom of the pitchfork. But when it finally gave way, when we finally broke that pitchfork down, we made new lows. And we expected this. As soon as we broke that pitchfork down, we expected new lows to come in on the charts. We got the new lows, and now we've been seeing for the last couple of weeks corrective moves to see if we can get back inside of that pitchfork. Well, we had one rejection on Monday of the pitchfork back test, the bearish back test, but we made a higher low. And then we had the real big test right here when we broke in above that pitchfork, coming up to our key volume resistance. Now, if we were able to reclaim this volume resistance in any way, then 117.5 would have been highly likely. But what happened is we did reject. And on that Tuesday stream, if you guys remember live during that stream on Tuesday, we were actually watching this rejection live. And one of the things that I was emphasizing on that stream on Tuesday is if we do lose our pitchfork, it's going to be a bad sign, but it's going to be even a worse sign if we lose the value area low of our 3-month long range. And we did lose both of those. So in yesterday's video, we were down in this area, and I was a little bit bearish in yesterday's video because I said, guys, we tried to get back inside of our pitchfork. We tried to reclaim the volume profile and find reacceptance back within that volume profile. And right now, Bitcoin is failing to do so. Bitcoin is rejecting and continuing the bearish trend locally. And so after bouncing yesterday from that anchored VWAP, we are coming up for another key bearish backtest. The daily level, the two volume value area low, value area high, and our golden pocket pitchfork level. Well, earlier today in Jason's stream, many of you guys saw me live in Jason's stream. I did attempt to short from the daily level, got into that short, and I saw that as soon as Jason kind of was getting out of his trade, I took 50% TP, and then I got stopped out. Pretty much it was a break-even trade for me. But as we were coming up to this golden pocket here, we did see confirmations to look for possible short positions, even if it's a short scalp position. 15-minute time frame, we have bear divs, money flow draining out of the asset. Bearish divs on NAMI on the money flow. And when we have momentum bear divs on Market Cipher B and we have money flow bear divs on NAMI, that is a really good confirmation signal to at least attempt a short position. We also had bear divs on lower time frames coming up into this golden pocket. Now, this golden pocket here, let me go ahead and zoom back out to the hourly chart. And let's go back to that pitchfork. So let me hide this daily real quick. And let's just get rid of this golden pocket. When you have a couple back tests after losing a pitchfork that was holding as support for weeks, and you lose it and you make new lows, you will oftentimes have multiple back tests of that pitchfork. And if you cannot reclaim that pitchfork, you can expect for Bitcoin to continue to drop to make new lows below now our new low off last Friday, October 17th. And so for me, this is a little bit bearish. If we do start to reject from this pitchfork and from this golden pocket, and we start to close 4-hour candles back inside of our volume profile, back underneath 110.6K, where that daily level is. Daily level was right in confluence. Let's see, where was that? I put that here. That daily level at 110.568. And if we turn on the 3-month long range, you can see our value area low of that range is in pretty much exact confluence with that. So this is what I'm watching for right now. We are seeing the rejection from the pitchfork, a small rejection with some bear divs. The intermediate timeframes don't look too bearish right now. What I'm waiting for And if we can reclaim 110.6, I'll probably close the short. If we can actually get back above 110.6 again, I will probably close the short that I'm in now, take the small little profit, the scalp profit that I earned, and let Bitcoin continue to try to break back inside the pitchfork. But if we start to really close 4-hour candles down below this 110.6, what this is going to show is that overall, we did get a rejection from our area of resistance that we were looking at. We just got that wick up real quick to hit the pitchfork and golden pocket. And then now we're closing down below, and we could see that bigger downturn reversal to continue to break down, at least taking some of the liquidity of these higher lows in here, or potentially even continuing the impulse down to make new lows, brand new lows. So this is what we're going to be watching for today in today's stream. I also did take a short on BNB. I know that Trump pardoned CZ, but as we were coming up into this swing failure pattern of this range, we came up, we SFP'd, hit into our pitchfork band, and as soon as we closed below that, I did take a short on BNB. Ultimately, looking for a take profit around $11.29 or $1,029 on this, but I will look at taking some profit when we, come take out these lows. We'll discuss that in a little bit. But there are trades that are available now that are happening. It's looking pretty good here. Let me check the chat, guys. Welcome in. Thank you all so much for being here. Yeah, thank you, Fettuccine Genie, and welcome in. Nunal Sapa, hello to you as well. Thank you for being here. Yeshua Khan Charla, I'm sorry if I butchered that. Yeshwantha, I welcome in. Thank you and love to you as well. Yes, guys, hit that like button. If you get any sort of insight into the markets from this live stream, please hit the like button for me. It's just a good way to help out the channel. It shows you support, and I just appreciate it so much. And Decrypto, welcome in. Chicken Salt, welcome in as well. Alpha G, big deals. It's good to see you here again. Big deals. Massive pump coming in. We could get the pump. This back test right now is very key. If we can actually hold where we broke above earlier today, if we can actually kind of hold this general area, and really I want to see a break back above our golden pocket and our pitchfork around 111.4. If we can start to close candles above 111.4, then not only do I think we're going to come take out our highs from Tuesday, but I think we could come all the way up to 117.5. So this is kind of it right now. We're in the process of this back test. This might take some time to happen. This might take the rest of the day to happen. And we also do have to remember, guys, tomorrow is a very, very key day in the market. Tomorrow, Friday, October 24th, we have core CPI month over month and year over year CPI. And this CPI could be a bearish catalyst or a bullish catalyst. And then, of course, we have manufacturing PMI as well. So a lot of stuff leading up into the end of this week, which could cause volatility, whether we're going to reclaim this area and continue pushing higher or lose it and start to really dump here. 118K TP. Okay, 118K. I'm looking a little bit sooner than that. That POC around 117.6. We also have a golden pocket up there. We have our boxes of resistance. Let me zoom out here onto the 4-hour chart. So now this box here was a box that we laid out earlier in the week. We laid that out Monday, I believe, Sunday, Monday. And we also are looking at a couple other resistances. Now, this is today's resistance. We're coming up into that resistance right now. And if we look at, that's our next big resistance up there, golden pocket point of control between 117.6, let's say, up to about 118.2. So yeah, that level to me, big deals, is a very key level as well. Golden pocket point of control. And then if we look above that, we've got that 121 to about 121.6 level. It's going to be your 786. Let's see, what is that up there? 786 and a naked weekly point of control in confluence with your pitchfork midline. And guys, remember the way pitchfork trading works. If we can reclaim and get back inside of this pitchfork, we have a very high likelihood to move up to at least hit the lower band of the pitchfork, which would mean taking out earlier Tuesday's highs and probably hitting that daily level. We do have a daily level up there at 115.274. So if we can get back in, I highly suspect we will come up there. Now, if we can even not necessarily reject from here, but kind of chop and form those ranges that form around the bands, then I do think we'll continue pushing up to our POC, our next level of resistance. Let's see, where was that? This guy here. If we can break this level, then yeah, guess what? The way pitchfork trading works, you come down, maybe we reject from this POC, but flip the pitchfork band to support. I expect us to come up to the midline. And that would also be your 786 and your naked weekly point of control. So the pitchfork trading is working in confluence with our other resistance levels here on the chart. And we'll just have to see how this plays out throughout the next week, 2 weeks or so. And if we cannot get back inside of this bullish pitchfork, it would, for me, be showing a trend continuation to the downside. We would continue to make new lows, potentially even coming all the way back down to 96.5K, where we do have our macro volume profile POC, the point of control of your macro volume profile, right around 96.5, 96.6. And that would be a very bearish sign for me for Bitcoin, because we would be losing our key anchored VWAP bullish trend of the last few months. And that would mean even if we bounce from this level, we might suspect a lower high on the charts before continuing lower as well. So that is a lot of speculation. We are not even close to that yet. We'll all obviously be paying attention to that as traders, as more price action develops here on the charts. But this is kind of what I'm looking at over the next couple of weeks. A bullish, we as traders, we map out a bearish scenario and a bullish scenario, and we play whichever one happens. And Amir, thank you so much for that comment, man. I really appreciate that, and I'm glad that you do like the TA. ZMX, welcome in, man. It is good to see you. Do you see the massive bull divs on ETH, a 6, 8, 12 hour, also daily? Well, I am overall macro bullish on ETH, ZMX, and I am looking now. What would be really nice for me on Ethereum is to actually come down. Like this was yesterday's box of support. We're not quite down there yet. Let's see here. Let's go to the 1 hour chart. Yeah, actually, we did bounce from that earlier, but now that Ethereum is kind of chopping around the value area low of this range, and this push up looks a little bit weak to me. We're already developing some bear divs on the chart, higher highs in the price action, lower highs in the momentum waves here. Money flow is starting to roll out again. What I really want to see for Ethereum is a double bottom of the crash lows at 3,500, excuse me. This area down here, we had front run, and I've been talking about this all week in my live streams and my videos, the naked daily point of control and a weekly level. So if we can just chop within this range for a bit and maybe see a breakdown of this range, because remember, this is kind of like a symmetrical triangle. And oftentimes these symmetrical triangles, if it's a continuation consolidation pattern. So what that means, continuation consolidation, you dumped coming into it, you're consolidating, but it's usually a continuation pattern more of the time. So that means you have a higher probability to dump out of it. But a lot of people would be looking at that as a bear pennant where Ethereum's going to dump down to maybe 3K or so. What I would be looking for is that consolidation, that dump, just to take out our lows and actually hit our support down there of the naked daily and the weekly, and the swing failure pattern of the crash lows. And if we get that double bottom, man, I'm going to long the farm here and look for that finally fifth wave impulse to new all-time highs, which we've been talking about as far as our higher time frame Elliott analysis goes. So yeah, we are developing. Let's see, you said 4 hour. No, see these now. Here's the thing, at least on the 4 hour, these are not bull divs. Even though we are making higher lows on the momentum waves, we are also making higher lows on the price action. So you want to see lower lows on the price action in order to make bull divs. Now let's zoom out to the 8 hour chart and let's look at this 8 hour chart real quick. On the 8 hour chart, no, these actually are not quite bull divs here, because you can see we have our initial low, we have a higher low, we have a higher low, we have a higher low. Now, yes, your momentum waves are making higher lows as well, but you want your price action to be making lower lows as the momentum waves are making higher lows. That's what the bull div is. So in some ways, this is kind of bearish for me that we keep making these higher lows here without taking out the liquidity. We're building a liquidity trail. So if this triangle breaks down, it's going to sweep all that liquidity really quickly, potentially coming down and hitting our support level. So not quite bull divs. Now, this isn't the most bearish looking thing though. I mean, I would say that this is just consolidation. We're in a, after a massive dump like this, the market is kind of resetting and trying to figure out what's happening. But here is what I see on Ethereum. Every time we come make a high, hidden bear div, hidden bear div. So now maybe are we going to come up, hit this POC, create another lower high here with another hidden bear div here, and then it could break down. That's what I'll be looking for. And really, we'll also always look for the swing failure patterns. We could get a local swing failure pattern here, local swing failure pattern here, as I talked about in yesterday's video. But for me, I'm really waiting because this consolidation to me doesn't look the best. Money flow is still draining out of the asset here. And then if we go onto our 12-hour chart on Ethereum, okay, money flow is starting to turn up here, which is pretty nice there. And it's about to cross over into the green. We did get a green dot on the 12-hour. But what that means is we could just be getting a move up to like the top of the triangle. If we have a triangle in here, we could just be getting a move to the top. And this could be another week and a half or 2 weeks of consolidating within this thing before seeing that. We'll just have to see how it plays out right now. 1 hour chart. Let's check this out. Yeah, I mean, 1 hour, we have some local bear divs. Let's go onto our 2 hour chart here. 2 hour chart, no bear divs, but once again, this just looks a little bit like a weak push up to me so far. And let's pull our golden pocket of the highs. Yeah, around that POC is where I'm going to be looking. So a couple local levels of resistance here. You can see your golden pockets right around your POC of your range of the last couple of weeks. But also, we have a naked daily point of control up near the value area high. Let me get rid of that real quick. Naked daily point of control around the value area high. And that's also going to be where your 786 is as well. So those are two areas where we could see rejections. Is if we just continue to kind of slow grind up here. And if you're looking for that 3-wave corrective move, slow grind up, rejection, or a move up, rejection. So we'll watch for that. I'll try to keep you guys updated on that in the Telegram. Speaking of the Telegram, guys, I do have a Telegram community that is free to join. All you have to do is register with a partner of the channel. BYDFI is a partner of the channel. It is a VPN and KYC free exchange. All you need is an email and a password to sign up. If you do sign up using my affiliate link, they're giving some really, really good bonuses here for initial deposit bonuses. If you deposit just $100, you can get a 50% deposit bonus. You'll also get 20% discounts on trading fees, and you can actually earn up to 40% discounts on trading fees if you deposit some of the larger amounts into the exchange. They're offering up to $8,100 in futures trading bonuses, depending on how much you trade in those futures markets. And once again, I've partnered with BYDFI to create a Telegram community where I do post some of my trade setups. I do post my analysis in there, try to let you guys know ahead of time what I'm looking at, the trades I'm looking at. If you want to join that Telegram, all you have to do is sign up with BYDFI, deposit the $100. It's your money to trade with. You will get the bonus. You will get the discounts on the trading fees. And then you just click the link in the description of this video for the Telegram. And once you're in that Telegram, type in /verify in your user ID, which will be right up here. And that'll get you access to that Telegram. And once you're in, you're in. We're trying to build a really cool, good community in there. A lot of great traders. And, when a lot of good traders get together, they can do awesome things. So that is, if you're interested, that is available for you in the description. Real quickly, while I'm here, I'll just talk about the other partners of the channel. Nami Trading is a partner of the channel as well. This is a momentum and money flow indicator that I use for confirmations on these trades. You guys see as we're coming up to key levels, I'm always looking at Market Cipher B and Nami to see if I have my confirmations to enter shorts or not, or longs or not. And so for me, it's a pivotal part of my trading. If you're interested in getting NAMI, they're doing a 50% off special for affiliates of this channel. So link and the description discount code, which is Divine50, are in the description. And then lastly, we have MEXC and Bybit, both great exchanges, both offering discounts on trading fees and futures bonuses if you sign up using my affiliate links. And you want to use one of those exchanges, the links are in the description there. It's just a good way to help the channel, and I do appreciate it as well. Okay, so let me get back to the chat here real quick. You changed my view on trading after watching you make analysis. Well, Andrew, awesome, man. I hope in some ways it does help you. And primarily what I'm here to do on my channel is to kind of help people understand why the market is doing is what it's doing as well. And of course, I'm not perfect. No trader in the world is perfect. Trading is actually about probabilities and risk management. So no one will ever get it right all the time. But here's the cool thing about trading. If you're using proper risk management in an asymmetric risk reward, which means you're risking, let's say you're risking 2-3 times more than your reward, excuse me, is 2 to 3 times more than what you're risking, you can actually lose 50% of your trades and still be profitable just based off mathematics alone. So it's about learning that discipline and learning how to find confluences of key levels and just waiting, being patient, waiting for the market to come to you. You can actually lose 50% of trades and still be profitable. And also, as a trader, you can play the market both ways, short or long. So for me, it's a great way to earn an income and to develop a skill. So I'm glad. I hope this helps you, and I hope you continue to stay here and get something out of these live streams. So okay, let's see. Um, Borean, welcome in. Edie Camp, welcome in. Patrick, welcome in. Yeah, your TA yesterday nailed the move. Yeah, we have been looking recently. We have been catching a lot of these, a lot of these small, I guess, what we call scalp positions here. And it's just based off of key levels, guys. I don't know what's going to happen, but we map out the high probability trades or high probability points where reversals could happen. And sure enough, that is what happens most of the time. And if you can use proper risk management with that, then overall you can become a profitable trader consistently. What are my favorite indicators? So my indicators that I use, Market Cipher B and NAMI. Those are my two favorite indicators. Now, I do use a lot of tools as well. Pitchforks are my favorite tools. I use channels a lot. If any of you guys have known me from Jason's Discord, I am also known as the channel guy, the pitchfork and channel guy. So I love pitchforks and channels. But also, we know that the two most important things that run the market are liquidity and volume. So if we're looking at liquidity being the most important thing that runs the market, liquidity grabs, swing failure patterns. When you come up, you take out a high or you take out a low, and then you see a reversal. So a failed breakdown, you grab that liquidity and then you reverse price. So liquidity, areas of liquidity in the market are very key levels to look for reversals because the market makers like to trick retail. And the other key levels of support and resistance are volume levels. And for me, volume profiles, fixed range volume profile or the visible range volume profile, anchored VWAPs, those are all volume tools that you can use to find volume levels. You'll often hear me talk about anchored VWAPs because it's a volume weighted average price. It's just the average price, but it's weighted off the volume inside each candle rather than just the actual price. And so volume and liquidity. So for me, anchored VWAPs, volume profiles, fixed range volume profiles. And when you take all of this into Confluence, your tools that you love, you take them into Confluence, you find these key levels where there's a lot of confluence, and that's often where the market does tend to react, and you can at least get small trades off of it, scrape a little bit of money from the market each day. Okay. Tony, thank you so much for that comment. I appreciate that. Thank you for being here. We are still getting are we still getting CPI if the government shut down? Yeah, Nicholas, good question. So they did pass a bill, an emergency bill. Actually, the CPI was supposed to come out on October 15th. And it didn't come out because the government was shut down, but they did pass a bill allowing enough funding to produce that report and bring it out on October 24th, no matter if the government shut down or not. So yes, we are still supposed to get that CPI print tomorrow, even if the government is shut down. Bullish on Parade, welcome in, man. Thank you so much for that comment. I appreciate you. And I know I've been in the Discord with you for many years with Jason and on the live stream. So thank you for being part of this as well. U.S. government data may be impacted by the shutdown. Yes, it could be. Absolutely. And we'll have to see, government shutdown, especially long government shutdowns, do cause volatility in the charts and do cause volatility in the markets because remember, the markets hate uncertainty. And when the government is shut down, there's uncertainty in markets because we don't know if funding is going to come to certain things. And so it does provide volatility, which as a trader in some aspects, we love volatility because we can play volatility to the downside or to the upside. But you just have to be aware of heightened volatility when there's government shutdowns and also when the government reopens, if it reopens, there's also volatility that comes with that. BTC will blast off now. Let's see here. We're fighting with this level, this key level here, the daily, the value area low, and depending on what happens here, we could chop around here. Here's the thing, guys. In a back test, it generally doesn't happen right away. Sometimes it does, but you can see here on the 5-minute time frame, after rejecting the golden pocket area, we're chopping around the daily and the value area low. So the market for the day is trying to decide, okay, are we going to remain with bullish sentiment, or are we going to flip, and are we going to start crashing here? We also have to watch out for the fake out where we drop to the VWAP, bounce from the VWAP, and then if we reclaim that, it's going to be a really bullish sentiment, because VWAP will often bounce you. Your daily VWAP will often bounce you in an intraday bullish trend. The VWAP will act as support. In an intraday bearish trend, the VWAP will act as resistance. Resistance, 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 resistance. Come down, make new lows. So the VWAP is another key thing I'll be watching. If we do start to bounce from the VWAP and reclaim 110.8, I'll close that short position. Okay, let's see. Best TA on YouTube. Oh, Golden Liquidation. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that comment. I don't know. Well, actually, I do know I'm definitely not the best on YouTube, but I have learned a method and a strategy that does work for me. And I do try to explain to you guys what I'm thinking and why I'm thinking it, and map out, show you guys the levels. I am completely transparent with you guys. I don't hide anything. Nothing's behind a paywall. So I'm just trying to do my best to, I truly believe if you put out good into the world, you'll get back good. And so I have a very firm belief in that. So I just try to do that to the best of my ability, try to stay true to my values. And I hope it helps people. And I know it does rub some people the wrong way, and that's okay as well. But thank you for that comment, man. Trump is live. Okay, we might have to check that out in here just a second. What do you think about XRP? We'll look at XRP. I'm going to go into some of the altcoins. So, guys, post in the chat some of the altcoins you're interested in. We're going to, let me just read the rest of this chat. We'll go into some of the altcoins here. And thank you guys for being here for the 3K live stream. I hope we can keep growing. I hope we'll get up eventually 10K, 30K, 100K. And just keep growing as a community, keep getting stronger and stronger, and keep scraping money away from the markets and the market makers. Thank you so much, man. Would you share what you'd be doing with spot BTC, ETH, Link, ADA, XRP? Yeah, I think we are close to the end of the bull market on everything. And I've been saying this for a year now or over, especially even before I started this channel in Jason's Discord. I've been saying this, that I do not think we are going to get the alt season that a lot of people are expecting, that blow off top where many of the alts make new, like almost every alt makes new all-time highs. I don't think that's going to happen. So I'm going to be taking profit on Chainlink around $35. If we get up to $35, pretty key resistance up there, I'll be taking some profit. On some of the better altcoins like XRP that have already made new all-time highs, I've already taken some profit on my spot. I've taken profit on my spot Solana. ADA, I don't actually even have much ADA. I don't know how much ADA is going to pump. I do think that we do have a possibility to make some new highs. There's even a possibility for Bitcoin to make one more new all-time high. And if we look at some of the higher time frames here on Bitcoin, it really depends what we've been seeing the last couple of weeks with this back test here and with this giant crash that happened. This actually could be the start of the bear market if we do start to continue impulsive price action down, and then we see a three-wave move up, generally rejecting from your lower high golden pocket. Then it's more likely that the bear market's about to start. And we do have monthly bear divs, weekly bear divs, daily bear divs on the chart. But there is still a scenario where Bitcoin does make new all-time highs, even, coming up 131K, and then now it's about 136K or so, where we do have, let me go onto my Coinbase chart here. And I want to show you guys a very key macro trend that has been the trend for the entire bull market. And longtime subscribers, you've probably seen this many times before, so I'm sorry if this is a review, but let me just clean this chart up here real quick, and we will go into this. Let me get rid of this daily for a second. All right, so this trend here is our Fibonacci channel trend, and I've had this channel on my chart for over 2 years now. for over 2 years long. It was based off of the very start of the bull market down here. So we had our bear market lows. We finally broke market structure bullishly by breaking these lower highs on the daily. We broke market structure bullishly, signaling that, hey, the start of the bull market might be here. So that high that you get after your bullish break in market structure on a daily is a very key high. So we got our key high there. We had a flat correction in here. We took out the lows of this range. After taking out the highs of the range, we took out the lows of the range. Just a flat correction in here. But this key higher low here on that flat correction is also a key low. Now, from these three high time frame key pivot points in a key macro market structure change bullishly on the daily time frame, signaling the start of the bull market could be here, you pull a channel from that. You can pull a channel from that high time frame channel. Now, let me go into this. I'm going to turn off the fib channel, and this was the original channel we pulled from this. Now, from this channel, we were able to actually make many swing short and swing long positions. We shorted up here. This was also our macro golden pocket, pulled from your all-time high to your bear market lows. You can see that was also your golden pocket there, right at the top of the channel. I remember shorting that. I remember the day it happened. Everyone was calling for a 10K God candle to the upside, and in Jason's Discord, I said no, it's going to be a 10K God candle to the downside, and that's kind of what we got. But we bounced from the midline, and after bouncing from the midline, after a multi-$1,000 rejection from your golden pocket, you bounce from the midline of your channel, showing that you still want to maintain bullish price action. And sure enough, we break out of the channel. We came up. Now, once you break out of your main channel, now you can throw on your Fibonacci channel, your extinctions, your Fibonacci extinctions to that channel. So we take off the main channel and we turn on the same exact channel, but with the extinctions. And you can see where was our 2024 all-time high? We rejected from the 1.618 Fibonacci extinction off of your main channel. And that I was shorting up there while everyone was looking for 100K. I was shorting up here, and I took profit when we back tested the bottom of our main channel. Because anytime you break out of a channel, you reject from a resistance above, you're going to come back test that channel to see whether it's going to confirm support and you can make new highs. Or in this case, we did bounce from it, but we made a lower high at your golden pocket area. We broke back inside the channel, back tested the channel, and then fell to your golden ratio, your 618. That's what this green line is. That's the 618. And the white line is your channel midline, which is also known as the equilibrium or your 0.5 Fibonacci. So this key trend here, all of that to say this key trend has shown us every major swing point in the market. You can see our all-time highs. If we do, we're fighting with the midline right now. And this, we've had a couple fake outs below the midline in this bull market, but for the most part, since we've broken the midline, it's really acted as our key support here on every macro drop. Now, we are kind of fighting with dropping below it and closing some weekly candles below it. If we start to close weekly candles below it, we might not see a fake out this time. We might drop to the bottom of the channel, which is 91K, with some bounces along the way. 96.5, I do think we'll see a bounce. But if we can reclaim this, I think we could see some chop within this band for a little bit between the 618 and the 0.5 or the midline. But we could shoot up and make one more all-time high, hitting into the top of that channel again. And depending on how long it takes, if it's a quick move up, we could come up to that 145 level, which I literally told Jason, I sent him a video 2 years ago saying 145 is because there's multiple confluences around 145 that shows that 145 could be the bull market top. Fibonacci, trend-based Fibonacci extinctions, channels, high time frame pitchforks. There is a lot that's saying around 135 to 145 could be the top. And so there is a possibility that we could come back up and make one more all-time high. If we come up here and we start to reject up here, I will be taking profits on a lot of altcoins, a lot of Bitcoin. Now, also, another thing I look for key macro reversals is the total market cap chart. Guys, back in December, I got so much shit because we were at the top of a key pitchfork, and I was saying, and everyone was saying in December, altcoin season is about to start. Altcoin season's going to kick off. And I said, no, guys, total market cap is at resistance. Total 3 market cap at key, total 3 market cap at key resistance of major pitchforks. And I said, expect a big drop on altcoins. It's not going to be altcoin season. It's going to be a dump. And I told everyone, if you go watch those videos back in December, specifically around December 4th to December 16th or so, I was making videos saying I'm taking profits and I'm expecting a higher low, but I'm going to buy lower. And actually, I started buying around the midline here. But we can look at the total market cap as well for Confluence and the total 3 market cap, which is your altcoin market cap. By the way, when we hit this down here, I told everyone to expect a major rally on altcoins, and we did get that rally. So, just ways to look at it. Now, on the total 3 and the total market cap in general, we are losing our pitchfork. Let me just go into this real quickly here. On the total market cap, we were looking at coming down and bouncing from the pitchfork midline here. Let me get rid of this range for a second. And what happened is we did have that big flush, but it was only a wick pass, and we were able to close all of our daily candles for a week and a half, 2 weeks above the midline. But once we lost the midline, very similar to Bitcoin with its small pitchfork right now, backtest rejection, tried to break back in, rejection. We could come a little bit higher, reject here. And if you see that head and shoulders topping pattern on a bearish backtest, or whether you want to call that a Model 2 distribution here, where you do see, let me get in here, and we'll go to the 2-hour time frame. If you do see like this head and shoulders type pattern, tap 1, tap 2, tap 3 here, where you're going to form that head and shoulders and you have multiple backtests and rejections of that pitchfork midline, well, now you can expect maybe to dump all the way to your lower band. And that would mean taking out the lows here. So we really need the total market cap to start reclaiming this midline in the next couple of weeks here. And if we can't reclaim it in the next couple of weeks, I do expect more downside on Bitcoin, on altcoins. Okay. Sorry, guys. I know I've been talking a lot. We will get into some of the altcoins here. Let me just read the chat. Oh, okay. ZMX, you're looking at candle bodies. Okay. Very cool, man. Yeah, we'll be rich. Can see the Ferrari in the garage. Heck yeah, man. Nonsense, welcome in. Thank you for the congratulations. And Nunal, absolutely, man. I hope this helps, and thank you for your sincere appreciation there. I really do respect that. And Dr. Rex, welcome in, man. Thank you for joining. Decrypto, welcome in as well. Thank you, Golden Liquidation. I appreciate it. I try to do my best for you guys. I try to also be responsible. In the Telegram, you probably noticed I didn't post the BNB trade earlier today. First of all, I kind of didn't have time. It happened so fast. And by the time I was going to be able to post it, we were kind of down quite far. But I try to only give you guys the trade setups that I'm kind of confident in, because I don't want to post some trade setups in the Telegram and have them not play out. And I don't know if, the people in the Telegram are using proper risk management. One of the things that I do want to go into as this channel develops is risk management. Because, guys, no matter how good of a trader you are at finding levels with TA, if you're using improper risk management, it's a recipe for disaster long term. And I had to learn this the hard way. So it's I really want to take you guys through the process of that, and of learning how to map out your trades ahead of time and to map out your risk management ahead of time. Okay, new to this channel today. I like it here. Rick Blood, welcome in, man. I'm glad that you found me, and thank you so much for joining. Yeah, let me see here. Can I put Trump on the video? So let's go here. Let's go to YouTube. So, oh, there he was. Okay.
But to kill these terrorists.
Can you guys hear that? Can you guys hear the audio coming through?
Destroy them so that they can't destroy the next generation of Americans. So thank you, sir.
Yeah,
thank you
our
for the
pink.
support around this
I
issue.
am like Jason. Give it to you straight, never give it to you gay.
Pete? Yes, sir.
I have nothing against gays,
Thank
by
you,
the
Mr.
way.
President, for your leadership.
Just the same.
Chief, likewise. Tulsi and Todd and Dan and Pam and Christy and Stephen and Cash. I mean, I could go around.
Andrew,
the
thank
table.
you so much
The
for that
Department of
compliment,
War,
man. That
we're
comment.
Thankful and grateful for the incredible effort that your agencies put in, and we could not be more proud to stand shoulder to shoulder with you. Not
Don't know exactly what they're
not kinda
talking
over
about
here,
here.
but
Let me
front
know.
and
Do you
center
guys
on the
want to
Homeland
watch this,
Security
or do you
task
guys
force
want
right
to?
there
We
with
can
you,
switch.
because
We can flip
our
back and forth
department
as
has
well.
spent over
We
2
can go through the
decades
TA. We can go through
defending
some of the
other
altcoins,
homelands,
and then
and
we
we're
can
very
go a little low on
proud of
audio.
it. If you
Okay,
talk
let
to the
me.
troops down, say, on the southwest border, Mr. President, morale is
That should help a
sky-high,
little
and
bit.
continues to be, because they're proud to be defending their own communities, their own state, and their own country. So when that executive order was signed,
Yeah,
the
none
mission
crypto
was
so
clear:
far. Yeah, I
protecting
don't
the
know if
American
this, he
people
might
against
mention CZ being
invasion.
pardoned, and
so
if
the
he does,
Department
I
of
do
War went
believe
straight
that
to the
crypto will
southwest
pump
border.
from
We
that.
still have 10,000
But
troops there. We have national defense areas. We're standing alongside
yeah,
the Border Patrol.
we'll
and
see
we've locked
what
that
happens
border
here.
down,
I think this
100%
is
control
more
of the southwest
politically
border.
based.
Stop the invasion. And then we're proud to be going on the offense. Counter-cartel operations. And it's not
Alpha G, what do I think
counter-cartel,
BTC
as was
correlation with the
mentioned.
stock
These are
market for now and
designated
for the near future?
terrorist organizations.
Well, I still think it's highly
Foreign terrorist
correlated to the
organizations.
stock
Our
market because
generation
crypto is
spent the
considered a
better part
risk
of
on
2
asset
decades
class still
hunting
to this day.
Al-Qaeda, hunting
Bitcoin is trying
ISIS.
to evolve
Well, as
into
the
being a
president
hedge
said,
against
this
it,
is
but
the
right now
ISIS,
it's highly
this is the
correlated. So I
Al-Qaeda
do think if
of
the
Western Hemisphere. They
stock market,
intimidate,
the
they
traditional markets
terrorize,
start to go
they
into a bear
extort,
market, of
they
course crypto
poison
will as
the
well.
American people. The president's
And
right. Every
if they
vote we
continue to
strike
pump
is
up, I think crypto
25,000
will as
Americans
well.
whose lives are saved because of the
Department
drugs
of
that
War
were
stuff,
headed
P
in our
talking.
direction.
Okay. Yeah,
So our
guys, I'm
message
going to
to
go ahead
these
and
foreign terrorist organizations.
this is more politically based stuff right now, which I just want to focus on the TA right now because there's some good trades, good setups that are possible in the next couple of days. So let me go into some of the coins. I'm going to go into XRP real quick. I know XRP was requested here. XRP's been pretty boring. And XRP, let me actually go to the Coinbase chart. XRP is just chopping around within this range. And we're forming like these symmetrical triangles on a lot of these altcoins. Let me just grab this here. But what I would say here on the XRP, and the wick is so big. I mean, you could try to pull it something like this, but I would just, even though there's only one low, I would just pull it from this low here, and you're just gonna have to look at kind of it forming a triangle from here. XRP, by the way, did come down to our support that we laid out earlier this week. We're bouncing from that golden pocket. I think I laid this out yesterday, actually. Little support level here. And we did not SFP, though. We did not SFP the lows, and I don't like that. Actually, that was from a couple days ago. But we're just consolidating in here. Yeah, we are forming the same kind of nice bullish money flow here. And trigger waves, these are not bull divs because we are making higher lows, but these are bullish trigger waves with money flow coming up, which means we could see a move to the top of the range, right? So if we pull this range, now guys, anytime you have a range like this, you want to pull the range. It's in the name of the tool. It's called a fixed range volume profile. So you're trying to find a range that's forming on any asset. This dump here was part of an impulse to the downside. So I do not include the wick or the big, huge impulse to the downside. I know some volume profile traders will include that. For me personally, I don't include that. I look at the range that starts forming afterwards. Now, once we form that range that starts forming afterwards here, you can look at your key volume levels. Remember, volume levels are the most important levels, right? Volume levels and liquidity grabs. Why was I looking to come to bounce from this area down here? Not only was it the bottom, well, the symmetrical triangle kind of wasn't formed then, but it was our value area low of our range in confluence with your golden pocket, and we had a liquidity grab there of Sunday lows. Now, guys, weekend lows often get taken out. Weekend highs often get taken out because the CME markets do not trade on the weekends. So after the regular traditional markets open up, they'll often come back down. Like if we had our weekend low here, you come back up, you SFP the highs, internal highs, you SFP them, get your lower high. Now we're going to come back down and try to take out those weekend lows. But we didn't. We front ran as soon as we hit the golden pocket, we bounced here. So what that means for me is we could just be seeing more chop in here. And we could likely see a move if we break this POC right now, which you can see for the last, day and a half or 12 hours, 14 hours here. We've been fighting with trying to break above it, trying to break above it, trying to break above it. If we can flip it, I do think we will come up to the value area high of our range, which is also near our channel midline, which would be a very nice area. And then if we look at, let's turn on some of our levels in here. Oh, this is not my chart that I keep the object tree on. So let me go to XRP here and let me pull that range all the way. And if we look at some of our levels, let's look at our weekly levels. Okay, this area up here, guys, is going to be a real key area. Very key anchored VWAP into a weekly at 297. But that is if we break this range to the upside. So far, we're not breaking this range to the upside. Let's look at our daily levels. Do we have any daily levels? We have some daily levels down below. We have a box of support down below at 226.5 that I do think naked daily point of control, 231 to 229, 226. That is going to be a level where we could bounce down here. But for now, we're just chopping around within this range and within this symmetrical triangle. But here's the thing that I want to talk about on XRP, guys, on more macro timeframes. XRP had lost a very, very key anchored VWAP. So once again, these two anchored VWAPs, one's from your all-time high and one's from your range lows when we hit that macro log 382. So over the past year, this goes back to December of 2024. This is our entire price action, our big range for the entire year of 2025. After seeing a what $700-800, 700-800% pump. So here's the thing: on these key anchored VWAPs, prior all-time high, range lows, and current all-time high is a bit higher here. But from our key initial range highs and initial range lows, we're below the anchored VWAPs. We busted below them. We back tested them and rejected them. So it does mean that we could continue the downtrend here overall because we're rejecting key volume levels of resistance, just like Bitcoin. And if we are going to reject that, I do think that we might even continue to at least come down. Now, I'm not saying we're going to come down and grab the wick lows way down here because, first of all, this is Bybit, and Binance wicked all the way down to like 116. Coinbase only went to about, I think it was 170-ish. So Coinbase is a spot exchange. I always look at Coinbase charts because it's the largest spot exchange in the United States, which is the largest economy in the world. But if we're looking at the fact that we're developing a range underneath our key anchored VWAPs suggests that we might be able to at least come down and grab local liquidity of last Friday's lows before seeing a reversal or hitting the macro value area low, because we wick past it with a giant crash, but we have not come down and hit it with actual like candle bot without a flash crash. We have not come down there to hit it. And we're right at the POC, the macro POC right now. So we're at a very key high time frame decision point for XRP. If XRP can start to close daily and weekly candles above this POC, then yeah, we're probably going to make a rise up at least. Let me zoom in here on the 2-hour chart. If we can start closing above this POC, we're most likely going to come take out these lower highs here. Lower high liquidity right here. We would sweep probably both these at the same time. We might even come sweep this, potentially even breaking up to 296. But if we cannot, and that's also kind of where your previous range POC is, 297 to like, 285. I know that's kind of a big range, but there is, we can narrow that down. Let's see here. But if we start to close daily candles below the volume, the POC again, then we might be able to move down to that value area low around 204, 203, 204. And so we're just kind of keeping on it, but we're just in consolidation, guys. We're in a holding pattern. After the crash happened, the government is shut down right now. There's a potential trade war about to start. So the markets are uncertain. And when the markets are uncertain, they kind of just go into a holding pattern. We're waiting. We're waiting for more macro sentiment, either bullish or bearish. And CPI might be a part of that tomorrow. If we have bearish CPI, it could be a catalyst that, hey, the market is going to start flipping more bearish. But yes, so XRP, we did bounce from the value area low in the golden pocket. We did not take out our weekend lows or our Sunday lows. And because of that, I do think we might be able to come down again and see a double SFP here. Might look for a long off 231.6. If we do not SFP that, then I think we're coming down to our naked daily point of control at 227 to 226. And we might be able to look for long there. And then, of course, if that doesn't hold, SFP of this. Let me go back to the Coinbase chart really quickly, and we'll look at the pitchforks. Yeah, and also, guys, we're in this high time frame descending channel. You can see we were in this high time frame descending channel. We broke it down, but it was just a wick. We rejected the midline up here, and then we came down to the bottom. We held it overall, and right now we're fighting with the midline as well. So now that you can see, we held the bottom after rejecting the midline, came up, rejection from midline, came up, rejection from midline. If we come up again and reject the midline again, which is also the value area high of your range, then you can expect probably a rotation, maybe even all the way to the bottom of the channel. And if it's going to take some time, it's probably not going to be a straight flush down there. What's probably going to happen is you're going to come up here, you're going to reject, you're going to bounce from the POC, make a lower high, come down to the value area low, probably chop around for a bit, lose it, and then you're going to come down to the bottom of the channel. And sure enough, what would that be at the bottom of the channel? It would be the SFP of the range lows into the bottom of the channel. And that could be a nice trade there. And it would be your overall corrective trend that has been forming for the past few months on XRP, this corrective channel here. Okay, that is about it for XRP. I know I spent a lot of time there. Let me check the chat. Blacked out BMW. I do have well, actually I'm not going to say that. I do have some sort of BMW. But I have a couple things. XRP will push from here. Yeah, big deals. I can see that you're bullish on a lot of assets right now. I'm not necessarily saying I'm bearish. I'm more neutral right now. I'm waiting for the decision to be made, and we're fighting around right now with that decision. Let's see. We are trying to 3-minute chart. Let me turn that pitchfork back on. Yeah, I mean, guys, the rejection for the pitchfork, we're starting to drop. We did have some bearish divergences on the chart. And, look at this. I mean, higher highs, lower highs, money flow draining out of the asset, multiple drives of bear div on NAMI, and money flow bear div on NAMI. This is why I shorted. This is why I tried shorting twice earlier today. I shorted right here. I got stopped out pretty much at a break even. But when we came up to reject from the golden pocket, I re-entered the short. That was during Jason's live stream, actually, right at the end of Jason's live stream. But we saw confirmation. Now, guys, for me, I use both of these indicators for confirmation. But when you see momentum bear divs on market cipher B with money flow kind of topping out and curving over, and NAMI has bear divs with money flow bear divs as well, that's 4 confirmations. Anytime I see that, I'll attempt it. If I lose, great. But anytime I see that, I attempt it because that is such a good confirmation. In the past, it has worked for me. I would say at least 75% of the time. So, and yeah, we're getting the push down from the golden pocket right now. And the real key thing is if we start to close below 110.8, which we are below, that's your key value area high of this small range of the last week since last Sunday. So for our week, we've been forming a range in here, a holding pattern, and then it's our 3-month range value area low. Let me turn off that macro Fibonacci channel. And actually, in some ways, guys, it is the back test of that macro Fibonacci channel. We fell below it. And because it's such a macro level, you're not going to reject from it exactly perfect every time. But on higher time frames, if we look on the daily time frames, if we see a bunch of wicks above it on the daily, wick above it on the daily, wick above it on the daily, but we're closing daily candles below that midline, we might test it for 2 weeks in a row. But if we cannot reclaim it, then guess what? Drop city. So yeah, it's guys, we are seeing a little bit of a rejection here. What we can look at now locally, because we could still be just ranging, right? We could still just be ranging in the range. The fact that we are, let me say this real quick first. Let me turn off our small range, our week-long range that we've been in. The fact that we are rejecting key volume resistance earlier this week and losing the value area low, which I talked about in yesterday's video, and now bearishly backtesting it and seeing kind of a negative reaction start, does suggest that we could finally come down and start to actually lose the volume, the anchored VWAP. But remember, this anchored VWAP is a very high time frame anchored VWAP, and we could chop in between the anchored VWAP for a week or two as well. Bounce, maybe reject it, and so this whole week and all of next week, I think is going to be pretty important for more of the macro time frame stuff. But yeah, we're just looking at right now. It's a very key high time frame kind of test of these general major areas of resistance. I do like this golden pocket. So if we pull a golden pocket from the lows on Wednesday to the highs that we made today, this golden pocket right here, just for a scalp, like a TP, I probably will have a TP into this, at least 25%. Because if we look at, first of all, let's turn that volume profile back on, the week-long volume profile. Our POC is going to be right down below that. let's look at our 786. Our 786 is going to be closer to the value area low. But why I like the golden pocket here is because we have internal liquidity grab from that kind of drop that we saw during Jason's stream, that little drop here. We bounced from the VWAP, but that liquidity, we saw a lot of long step in this last push up here. We saw a lot of long step in. So if we even just come down, hit the golden pocket, take the liquidity from all the late longers that didn't long down here or in here, but they longed way at the top here, we could take that liquidity and then continue to chop in the range. So that's kind of more intraday scalp trading stuff. And that does take a little bit more diligence to look at. But yeah, we'll kind of see how this plays out during the stream. Guys, give me just 1 second. I have to respond to this text message. Give me just 1 second. I'm going to put I'll put Trump on here. Let's make sure he's live. Okay.
We'll find you. We will map your
and
networks.
I'll
we will
be
hunt
just
you
1 minute
down, and we will kill you. And you've seen that evidence in the maritime domain, whether it's in the Caribbean or in the Pacific with the last 2 strikes. We know exactly who these people are. We know what networks they work with, what they're a part of. We know where they're going, where they originated from, what they're carrying. And they know we know. And that will soon start to change the calculus of these boats. So the critique of this is, of course, as often is the case, wrong. We know our authorities. It's locked tight. And we're going to treat them like foreign terrorist organizations on the offense. So the Department of War is not going to degrade or just simply arrest. We're going to defeat and destroy these terrorist organizations to defend the homeland on behalf of the American people, making the jobs of law enforcement safer in the process, making the communities of Americans safer in the process. We think it's a very core mission of the Department of War, and we're proud to be here, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Pete. Thank you. Tulsi, please.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. The key reason that you are hearing about these incredible effects is, number one, the team that you've assembled here and the leadership and the tone that you have set, first and foremost, about keeping the American people safe. The intelligence community plays a critical role in being able to support our law enforcement at the federal, state, and local level to make sure that they are armed with actionable intelligence to be able to actually go after those who threaten the safety and security of the American people. Mr. President, under your leadership, for the first time, there is a newly created National Intelligence Fusion Cell at the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, National Counterterrorism, that has a very simple purpose: to make sure that we have two-way intelligence sharing of actionable information between the intelligence community and law enforcement. I want to talk briefly about 3 successes that we've had just here in the last few weeks, Mr. President, through the success of this interagency fusion cell. Just this last week, our National Counterterrorism Center supported, through actionable intelligence to both U.S. law enforcement as well as Mexican law enforcement, the arrest of a Sinaloa cartel boss, El Plato, in Juarez, Mexico, as well as his top 3 money launderers. In a separate and recent successful interagency operation, NCTC worked closely with the U.S. Marshals Service that led to the arrest of another dangerous Sinaloa cartel member responsible for tracking a huge amounts of cocaine and hundreds of thousands of dollars in this single incident.
Okay, guys, I'm really sorry about that. I had to make a quick phone call.
I'll say the last example I'll share is probably the most insidious, was providing intelligence to Mexican law enforcement that led to the arrest of a CJNG cartel-affiliated baby trafficker called La Diabla.
I had to do real quick.
Her whole money-making operation was centered around luring pregnant women, performing illegal C-sections,
oh, Mark Dutch, welcome
organs,
in, man. Thank you so much for being here.
Babies.
I typed what is a P jug, and Google sent me here. Oh gosh, that's supposed to be Jason's channel, man. Jason's got the P jug,
like
and I love it, by the way. It's so funny. It's great. You know he's a true trader when he has a P jug sitting next to his
because they believe in your leadership
treadmill.
And the mission
I remember once
presented to them.
Thank you, Sudeep.
Thank you, Mr. President.
I remember once when Jason and me were joking in the live stream about true traders, and I told him, he was joking about sitting on the toilet trading. I was like, you know you're a true trader when your legs go numb on the toilet because you've been focusing on the TA so much on your phone that, yeah. Oh, Trump's still on? No. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Sudeep. I think I got it off now. But thank you so much. Okay, let me check. We can check AVAX. Let's go into, let me look at some of those coins that some people were talking about up above. ETH, Link, ADA, XRP. I think that was that one. Ondo. Okay, let's go into Ondo real quick. We'll go into AVAX as well. Okay, Ondo. Now, guys, on Ondo, of course we saw that big crash that was really kind of a black swan event. But you can see here on Ondo, we are in this descending channel. We've been in this descending channel. We had the fake out of the descending channel and grabbed liquidity. Remember, liquidity is the most important thing. And when you break out of a channel, you oftentimes will at least come up and grab the liquidity of the second pivot of that channel, if not the liquidity of the entire channel. So we grabbed that second pivot liquidity, and then we've been downtrending here. And this does look impulsive to me here. This looks like an impulsive move to the downside. I do think we could continue to make new lows on Ondo, but we are holding the bottom of our channel overall. And what used to be support here. So before the major crash happened, we were looking at this range. We were looking at this range in here. And then, of course, when the crash happened, we fell straight through support. Guys, my green boxes are support. My purple boxes are resistance. So if you're ever wondering about that, now this support has been flipped into resistance. This was a point of control, a golden pocket, and a naked daily point of control in here. So I'm going to delete that golden pocket. We're going to delete the box here. But you can see it was also your channel midline. And let's pull this volume profile all the way to current day price action. We rejected the point of control and we rejected the channel midline. So because we did that, we expected to at least come down to the bottom of the channel. We're overall holding the bottom of the channel, but once again, it looks kind of weak in here. We are forming those trigger waves in here, those bullish trigger waves, but printing hidden bear divs on all of these lower highs here. Hidden bear div on the lower high, hidden bear div on the lower high, and a hidden bear div is a continuation pattern. So it's more likely that we're going to continue kind of pushing down locally here. And I would be looking for an SFP. Let's see actually where, if we take our Fibonacci from last Thursday's lows, or Thursday, October 16th to the highs. Yeah, we're bouncing generally from your golden pocket 786. Let's zoom in here onto the 2-hour chart. And let's look at this Fibonacci. So if we look at our golden pocket, yeah, we bounced from our 786 Fibonacci, which oftentimes, guys, altcoins, if Bitcoin retraces to the golden pocket, altcoins will retrace to the 786 just because they're a little bit more volatile. So, and we did, in some ways, break market structure bullishly very locally on this 2-hour chart by breaking above this high. That was just an SFP, but we did break above that high. So very locally, we were in a low, lower high, lower low, and then we now had a break. That was still a lower high, but it was a higher low, break in market structure. So now we might be breaking market structure bullishly. That was your first sign of bullish market structure break, by breaking above that high. Now we've come down and made a higher low, so there is a possibility that we could make a higher high here and come back up into this channel midline or POC. Let's check in this range. So now when you're ranging after a major crash, when you are forming a range, it's very important. The first thing you probably want to do is pull a volume profile. Now, I do not include the wick of the big crash. I go right after that big wick ends and I pull my volume profile. Okay, we have our value area high around our prior highs. Now, let me get rid of this monthly because that's been tapped. And let's move this over to this high here. So we do have the SFP around the value area high. We're bouncing around the value area low, but we are right now rejecting the POC, or potentially rejecting the POC. Now we can come in and we can look at our naked daily points of control within here. So I'll turn on that tool here, let that load up. Okay, there's no real naked daily points of control except above us. Let's mark that out here. We have a naked daily point of control around 79.65. Naked daily point of control in there. And then I just want to check our naked weeklies to see if we have any naked weekly points of control. Okay, this is our current naked weekly, or this is our current point of control for the week, but because the week hasn't closed, we're not marking it out. And you can see, where did we get our last rejection from our last naked weekly point of control? That's why volume levels really are important, guys. But so we don't have any really volume levels except for one above the value area high of our range. If we pull now a golden pocket from the highs of the range to the lows of the range, Let's turn on that golden pocket. Golden pocket now is going to be around this high, but we've already rejected that because we pulled the golden pocket from this high to this low. So on this bounce, we bounced up to our golden pocket and we rejected our golden pocket. Now we are dropping down here. So in some respects, this also could be a lower high and we could come down for lower lows. So I know I just said locally, there is a chance that market structure is breaking bullishly, but anytime you reject on a lower high golden pocket in a larger downtrend, the downtrend is likely to continue. But locally, we could come up a little bit more. We could test those highs again. We could SFP the highs that we had from Tuesday. And then let's go in onto our daily time frame and we'll look at some of our daily levels in here. We also have a daily level. You can see where the candle body opens and closes, red, green. That's a daily level. So we'll mark out our daily level and then we'll mark out our daily level from Tuesday. And then of course if we close this candle green today, we'll have a new daily support at the bottom of the channel, and that could be important. But let's now zoom back in onto the hourly chart. And for Ondo, I mean, I don't see too much in here. So we do have this golden pocket. This golden pocket was already hit, so it's not going to be as strong. If we come up there again, it might not give us the same rejection again. But what I would be looking for now, we can even pull a golden pocket from our last highs on Tuesday to our lows that we made yesterday. Okay, not somewhat of confluence between the daily and the golden pocket, and we could be seeing something very similar to what we saw in Bitcoin today, where it wicks up past, hits into that resistance, but ultimately closes the candle below the golden pocket. So we might be able to see that rise up to the golden pocket. It's very choppy right now, right around the POC, and your POC is fair value. So you have no advantage for trying to open a trade right now on Ondo. You're at fair value. Wait for a level. A part of trading is waiting for these key levels, being disciplined. But as far as larger time frames go on Ondo, let me get rid of this and let's zoom out onto our 12-hour time frame. We did take the low out on Coinbase. Nice liquidity grab. You can see this liquidity grab here. And overall on Ondo, I do have to say that it does look, I mean, this consolidation, I think we can come at least take out the lows from Thursday the 16th. But it's looking kind of overall macro bottomed out. You can see in here, we're forming what we could say is an accumulation range. So after you have a major large downtrend like this, downtrend, you start to go sideways here. That means that the market is finding a floor on the coin, on the price. And it's starting to maybe, if the market is overall macro bullish on the asset, this will be an accumulation range. So whales are accumulating. Anytime you come down near the bottom of the range, whales are accumulating. And then if it's really bullish, you'll see that expansion phase where it will really push up and start to expand. So it's possible if the bull market is going to continue, Ondo is in a model 1 accumulation. This would be your tap 1, your initial low, your tap 2, and then this is your tap 3, model 3 accumulation. And now we want to start to impulse up out of here. Right now, we are not seeing that impulse. And I also think that this looks like it could be 1, 2, 3. We could be in a triangle for a wave 4 before making one more low in a wave 5. Now, you would have to count this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in here. You have your 3-wave move up here. There's probably a flat in here. And then this is your big wave 3 down. So it does look like we could possibly be in a wave 4 here, triangle, on an impulse to the downside. And if this impulse overall is going to continue to the downside, then this triangle is going to break down and it's going to want to take out this low, even if it's just an SFP of that low. Let's look at our higher time frames. We can go to our daily time frame. Yeah, money flow is still coming out on the daily. You did print a hidden bear div on the daily time frame. And if we look at some of our 2-day time frames, okay, it looks to me what it looks like, because money flow is coming out on the daily, but the 2-day does bottoming and having a green dot right now. It's not confirmed quite yet, but what this tells me is we might range in the triangle for a bit more. And that makes sense too, is if the market's uncertain, this triangle can actually go for a couple more weeks. We could be ranging in here for a couple more weeks, come up here, reject, come down, reject. This thing could form, and we can even see like fake outs of the triangle for liquidity grab, fake down, liquidity grab, and this thing could start to form more of a range for a couple weeks now. And honestly, on a lot of these altcoins, it looks like that's what the market is doing. Because the market is uncertain right now, we're kind of in this holding pattern, developing consolidation patterns, waiting for more macro decisions on the market. So if it was me on this asset, I would be overall maybe expecting some more downside. But in the case that this was the actual lows, then map out your levels of support and look for longs at those levels of support here. Let's pull our Fibonacci from the crash lows to our dead cat bounce. Oh. Crash lows to dead cat bounce highs. Yeah, we've hit the golden pocket already. You can see that's where we hit the golden pocket value area low. We bounced. Rejected value area high, came down to value area low. We're bouncing. So we're just trading within the range. So guys, if you want to trade this asset, trade the range until it breaks. Anytime you're near the lows of the range or liquidity grabs of lows, look for longs. Anytime you're near the highs of the range or liquidity grabs of the highs, look for shorts. And that's how you just play a range until it breaks. But be aware you have to have proper risk management, because if you are trading, like say you're longing support at the bottom of a range and this range is finally going to break down, that's why you need to have a stop loss in, because eventually the range is going to break one way or the other, and you do not want to get trapped in a position. But Ondo doesn't look like it has too many good trade setups for me, to be honest. Like the 786 down here is a level you could bounce from, and let's see if there's any naked daily points of controls down there. But honestly, if you break this channel down, you're probably going to at least come take out your lows, because this is a major macro channel. Yeah, no daily naked points of control down there either. So if we start to break this larger descending channel here down, then you're most likely going to come take out these lows. And we're really flirting with trying to break it down here. We're really flirting with it. Okay, let's see here. I'm not back on Tinder yet. I'm on X, very active though. Man, Mark, I saw you on Tinder last night. I don't know what you're talking about. Or I should say Grinder. No, I'm just kidding, man. Thank you, Mark Dutch, for the 3,000 subs. Appreciate you so much for being here. R Pink, thank you so much. Thanks for stopping in, and I'll see you next one. Okay. Yeah. Massey33, welcome in. Much love to you. Thank you for being here. Okay, AVAX. We're going to go into AVAX real quickly. Let's see, USD. Let's get rid of this real quick. And let's zoom out on AVAX. Let's go to the 12-hour chart. So guys, here's the thing on AVAX, and this is where pitchfork trading really comes in key. You can see, at least on our macro bottom here, we were looking at a couple things on AVAX. We were looking at an accumulation range in here. And what happened is you had your tap 1, your tap 2, your tap 3. This was a model 2 accumulation, and we started to expand up. We broke the pitchfork midline, and we pumped up to our macro golden pocket in confluence with the upper pitchfork band. But when we rejected this, by the way, if I go on to my other chart here for AVAX, we were looking at that rejection, and we were looking at taking profits at that rejection and shorting there, right up in this area here. Same pitchfork, by the way. This is the same pitchfork, so I'll just stay on this chart. The reason why I was using Coinbase, because this wick is ridiculous on this chart. But ignoring that wick, after seeing our accumulation range here, we expanded out. We hit into our macro resistance. There was a lot of resistance here. Swing failure pattern, large range point of control, naked weekly point of control, a weekly level, a daily level, a golden pocket, and that was your macro golden pocket pulled from the highs up here down to the lows down here. So major rejection from major resistance. Now, after that major rejection, this awfully does look like a 5-wave impulse down. Now, the wick on Coinbase is not near as big. I think on Coinbase, let me just check real quick. I think we ended around, okay, ended around a lower pitchfork band here. And this does look like it could be a 5-wave impulse. A 1, 2, 3. We had our dead cat bounce in a 4, and we're about to grind down in a 5. And we did not hit this weekly down here. Let me make sure real quickly that's a fresh weekly. But I'm looking at that weekly. Yeah, fresh weekly at 16.53. So if we do come down to 16.53 and end our 5-wave impulse down, hitting into the bottom of the pitchfork band, because we did front run the bottom of the pitchfork band with the crash lows on Coinbase. So if we come down, it's, for me, it's likely that we're going to come down in a 5th wave over the next week or so. This could give us one more 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, one more 5-wave push down to hit around 16.5. You would key liquidity grab. Remember, guys, liquidity is king. Liquidity grab into macro support being a weekly level and the bottom of the pitchfork band. And then we could see after that 5-wave impulse ends, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave impulse ends. You would be looking for at least a 3-wave corrective move, generally up to your golden pocket. It doesn't have to come up to that golden pocket, but oftentimes it does. And so if we pull a theoretical Fibonacci from the highs of the impulse to the lows, and I'm going to put the lows right on that weekly. Let's put that there. Now, because this is more than a 30% drop to the downside, let's just double check here. Yeah, that's a 55% drop to the downside. You have to take this Fibonacci and you have to come in here and we're on log scale and you click fibs based off log scale. That's going to give you your proper 61.8% retracement. And this golden pocket here is where we could reject. It's also, you can see here, it's also a very key support resistance flip, right? In here, it was acting as resistance, 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 resistance. We broke above it, support, 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 broke through it. So now it's also a key support resistance flip on the chart as far as the most basic technical analysis goes of support resistance flips. So after bouncing from 16.5, we might come up to $26, $27, 27, 27.5 or so. Another thing I would watch for is that equilibrium, that 0.5. And let's change that to log scale real quick. It's going to be right at your pitchfork midline. And in this bearish retracement, in traditional markets, you often retrace to the 0.5. In crypto, we do retrace to the golden pocket more often, but we might see the 5-wave impulse down, 3-wave corrective move up to the pitchfork midline in the 0.5, and then you're going to be looking for another 5-wave impulse down where we could come all the way to the bottom here. That's a bearish scenario, pretty bearish scenario, but that is something that we have to watch for based off more macro Elliott wave theory that we're seeing. Now, locally on this, let's just zoom into the 2-hour chart here. Locally on this, and I want to go back to my other avalanche chart. Yeah, I would say let's double check this daily. That daily is a fresh daily as well, I believe, at 16.53. Yeah, it's because this wick here, I'm not including this wick, even though on Binance it did wick that low. Other Coinbase didn't, so that is not only a daily channel, but a weekly. And I would be looking to come down to that general area down there. And then if you do come down there, that would make your 5th wave. But locally, very locally, you could just play this range, right? We're forming a range in here. So play the range until it breaks. The higher time frame bias for me is that range is going to break down. But until it breaks down, you can do scalp longs off of the bottom of the range. So pull your volume profile from right after the impulse ended. And look at this range. We're even below the value area low of the range. Let me check Coinbase to see if we're below the value area low on Coinbase. Yeah, we're below the value area low of your range even. You can see actually we broke below it. We attempted to try to get back inside of it. We bounced after getting back inside, we bounced, but we failed that and we failed again, continuing bearish price action. So for me, it is highly likely that we do come down and take the bottom. But let's go ahead and pull a golden pocket from the lows of the crash to the highs of our dead cat bounce. Let's look at our golden pocket and our 786, which we'll throw those on. Okay, golden pocket's already been tapped. We already bounced from the golden pocket. And the 786 was the next level that got tapped, and we've already bounced from the 786. So if this 786 doesn't hold, I really do think we're going to come down and take out these lows at $17. It's actually looking likely for me. Money flows coming out. We're keep printing hidden bear divs on the 2-hour time frame. Let's look on the 4-hour time frame. Money flow coming out on the 4-hour time frame, and it's actually coming out again on NAMI on the 4-hour time frame as well. And we might just get continuation here. Wave 1, wave 2. We could be in a wave 3 here, 4, 5, coming down to that weekly. So we'll have to see. But for me, it looks a little bit bearish, and I would be looking around 16.5. The SFP of $17 into about 16.5 would be a really good long opportunity for me, especially if we're seeing bull divs on the chart. So I will actually do this. We'll set an alert here on 16.5. So long, SFP long, and of course it's going to be the SFP of 17. So I'll just throw that on as well. Not short. All right, so that is what I'd be looking for on AVAX. And let's look at naked daily points of control. Do we have anything underneath us? No naked daily points of control underneath us. To me, there's not much left that's going to keep us from at least coming down. Now, we might see a bounce, guys, a small bounce from the pitchfork band. This pitchfork band right here, we might see a small bounce from 18. And I bet you that's your 886 Fibonacci. Let's pull that Fibonacci again, and let's look at our 886. Let me make that yellow for you guys. Yeah, it's going to be right around there. So you oftentimes in ranges, you'll bounce from an 886. If you look at Bitcoin's 2024 range that was 8 months long, we bounced from 886s and made macro moves off of that. Okay, is Mickey with Hickey? That's so funny. Welcome in, Crypto Wanderer. Welcome in, Mark Dutch. Thank you guys for being here. Samuel, yes, 3.02, man. I'm so excited about that. I just appreciate all of you so much. Thank you for your support. It really does mean the world to me. And I love doing these live streams with you guys. What's thought about silver? Do you think we'll get a series correction? I was going to sell some and sell some I bought at $20. Wow. Okay. Well, so you're up pretty big on that. We'll look at silver right now. What is AVAX doing? Gaming, AWS, AVAX at this point. I suggest TP on some silver. Oh, okay. Also research. What is it? Okay. Wait, if you own 20 PZs of actual, I think you mean ounces, not PZs, but ounces of actual silver, you can make a silver cell that will produce 2.2 kilos every 2 weeks if you do it correctly. Wow, BG, I would be really interested to know more about that. Yeah, he did correct, 20 ounces. Zigzag, welcome in, man. Mad love to you as well. Thank you so much for being here. Yes, let me go into silver really quickly, and then I'll go Zigzag. We'll go back into Bitcoin. Silver, yeah, it got that major correct. It's starting to get that big move down. Now, guys, here's the thing on silver. We had been making, actually, let's go on to the daily time frame first, and let's look at, so far, we have not taken out market structure bearishly on the daily time frame, but we did come down and bounce from a daily level. This is a daily level that we're bouncing from, or that's in daily order block, right? An order block is when you have a red candle smashed in between a bunch of green candles. So we're bouncing from a daily level, but I would be really aware because we are breaking some market structure bearishly. Like if we go on the 4-hour time frame, we did break market structure bearishly by taking out some lows. So if you look at your last 4-hour low, we broke market structure bearishly here. So now that we've broken market structure bearishly, and we could be seeing a potential impulse down, a wave 1, a wave 2, wave 3, we could be looking at a 4 and then a 5 to break daily market structure bearishly. And if we want to look at our targets for our wave 4, let's pull our Fibonacci from the highs of 3 to the lows of 3. You're going to look at between the 382 and the 0.5 Fibonacci. Well, we haven't quite made it up to the 382 yet, but it looks like we're trying to reject from that 382. And this actually tells me that we might be continuing down. That was your market structure break there. This impulse here might be continuing down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In a bullish scenario, if you want to put your bull glasses on here, this could have been a three-wave corrective move, and now we're about to continue the bullish trend here. So if we want to see if that's a three-wave corrective move, we can pull our trend-based Fibonacci from the highs of the to the initial lows to your lower high here. And usually you bounce between the 1-to-1 and the 1.236. So you're in that general area. I don't like the way this looks, though, guys. The way that this looks, higher highs in the price action, lower highs in the momentum waves, money flow draining out of the asset here on the 4-hour time frame. Let's look for bear divs on the 8-hour. Do we have bear divs on the 8-hour? Yeah, we do have some local bear divs, and NAMI has a pretty nice set of bear divs, money flow bear divs on the 8-hour here. So to me, it's likely that gold does keep dropping a little bit lower here. With some bounces along the way, of course. With some bounces along the way. Let's look at the daily real quick. Daily has those bear divs as well. Actually, quite aggressive bear divs regionally. Oops, if we look at this regionally, we do have some quite aggressive bear divs in here. Because you can see higher highs here, lower highs here. And money flow looks to kind of be topping out now on the daily. So we could get that little bit of a retrace here. Overall, silver looks really good. And I do think it's going to continue pushing higher. I think I think last time we looked at $72 to $84 or something like that. Let's go on to our weekly time frame. Because to me, this looks like from our lows here back in March of 2020, a wave 1, a wave 2, you're in your big wave 3 right now. And actually that wave 3 could continue up to 81. That's what it was. Your wave 3 could continue all the way up to $81. And then you would get, after hitting into that and rejecting, you might get that bigger fourth wave retrace. And then a wave 5 potentially coming up to 100 or so or higher. We'll have to look at that a little bit later as more data develops. But overall, macro time frame, I'm bullish on silver, but lower time frames, we could see a little bit of a correction back down here. Let's see. I mean, we do have a gap in here at around $40, $39, $40. So we could even drop all the way back down to take that out, that gap out. Let's go back to our daily time frame real quick. And actually, before we do that, I would like to see how the pitchfork looks here. So we're going to pull a pitchfork from the start of this impulse. You're going to take your pitchfork. You're going to go from the lows, the start of the impulse, to your first highs. If I can get it. And then down to your lows of the correction. Okay, and actually this pitchfork looks pretty nice, but let me check the skiff pitchfork real quick. Yeah, this one's nicer. Okay, so this is actually really nice to see on the weekly time frame. We have high time frame respect on the pitchfork, and we are rejecting from the upper band, guys. We are rejecting perfectly from the upper band of your pitchfork here, and we're losing the band. So what we could see, if this is going to continue down, maybe that 5-wave impulse continues a little bit lower, then you're going to see a 3-wave retrace, and oftentimes you'll retrace to backtest that band, and then you'll drop to the midline. So, and the midline also happens to have a key daily level coming in around there. Daily order block, you see this order block in here around $42 to $40, $41, $42. And then there's also that gap that's just below that. So, it could be a good buying level though, around $42 to $39 on gold, silver, excuse me. And if we do come down and bounce from that general area, then we might actually continue to see the wave 3 play out, the bigger wave 3 impulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe something bigger like that. Let me just take this, and we're going to take this off of log scale. Yeah, okay. Guys, actually, this is very, very interesting. So, on high time frame weekly levels, high time frame weekly chart, we have our initial impulse up. We have a multi-month correction in here. This is a multi-month correction for most, for what, 2 years here. And now we're impulsing up here, very aggressively impulsing up. But look at where we ended, exactly at our 2-to-1 Fibonacci target. So that means that this push up here was exactly 2 times as long as this push up here. Okay. In a wave 3, your most common target is that 1.618, but you can push up to the 2, you can push up to the 2.618. And I bet you that 2.618 is coming in right around the top of the channel. Let's see. Yeah, right. Excuse me, the top of the pitchfork. But yeah, it is coming up right around the top of the pitchfork here. $65, $66. But because we're rejecting so perfectly right now from our 2-to-1 Fibonacci and the top of our pitchfork band, we might get the move back down to the midline. And that would be like depending on how long it takes, $42 to $44. But if we do that, I would be looking for a bounce and at least a lower high. Even if this thing is topped out, a bounce from here, lower high, and then we could start the bigger downtrend. But at that area could be a nice little buy level to bring it up to your local golden pocket. And we can look at that. This is total speculation right now. But if we go from pull a Fibonacci from the highs to the pitchfork midline, and we put on our golden pocket, yeah, you could long $40, $42 and bring it up to 50. But overall, I do think silver has more likelihood to go up, but we're hitting a very key target. High time frame, Fibonacci extinction in confluence with a high time frame pitchfork band. So I would definitely not be buying right now. And you've broken market structure bearishly on the 4-hour and under, 4-hour, 8-hour. So I would wait for some sort of exhaustion range to start forming in here and then look for a buy within the range. And then you could look for at least a lower high or a higher high. Okay, Bitcoin. Yeah, guys, we're getting that rejection from the golden pocket and from our pitchfork, and now we're starting to lose. We're starting to get under and lose that value area low and daily level. Let me see. What did you say up here? Zigzag. Let's see if you look at it up on YouTube. Okay, wait. Thoughts on BTC being in an expanded flat on the monthly, spanning its entire existence, which could lead to 8K, 7K bottom next. Well, man. Okay, so let me go on the index chart. The index chart here. First, let's zoom out to the daily. Yeah, guys, we're losing this pitchfork. On the monthly chart, an expanded flat. Okay, I think it's not likely to me, zigzag, because this is 5-wave impulse up, wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5 on the monthly chart. Now, if it was a flat, you generally want to see an impulse down, a 3-wave corrective move up, and then another impulse down here, and that's a flat. You have your impulse, your corrective move, and then an impulse. Now, within this 3-wave corrective move, you're looking for a small impulse in here, and then a small impulse in here, unless it's a WXY. But the thing is, I do get what you're saying here, because look at this. Higher high, higher high, higher high, lower high, lower high, lower high, money flow, lower high, lower high, lower high, triple drive of monthly bear divs on each cycle's highs. And that could mean major crash for Bitcoin, but I'm not going there yet. I'm just not going there yet. To me, it's unlikely that it's going to be that, but let's see. Or if you're just talking about this low, if you're talking about this being an expanded flat correction like this, let's pull our Fibonacci from the highs to the lows, and I'll correct that in a second. And we're going to look between the 1-to-1 and the 1.382. So let me go to expansion levels. I better have a better template than this. Okay, let's just come in here. We'll turn off the 4.236. We want that 1.618 on, because if you hit the 1.618, it does happen rarely in an expanded flat correction, but generally you're looking between the 1.1 to 1 and the 1.382. So because we even passed the 1.618 here, if you're pulling your Fibonacci from the highs to the lows of the last bull market, we've even surpassed the 1.618 Fibonacci. So that makes it very unlikely to be an expanded flat correction. It makes it far more likely that this is impulsive price action to the upside. Almost never you see an expanded flat go up to like the 2.0 and then come all the way back down. So for me, I would say low probability, but I understand your thinking with these triple drive of bear div in this cycle, guys. This is why I'm so concerned that the bull market top could be coming into, because if we look at just this cycle here, 74K was our all-time high in 2024, 108K in January, February, 100 and whatever, 27, 28K now. Triple drive of bear divs on the monthly. Triple drives of bear div on the monthly. Money flow draining out of the asset. It looks like the bull market is close to an end. I'm not saying it's ending yet. I'm saying it looks like it's close. Weekly time frame here. Higher high, higher high, higher high, lower high, lower high, lower high. Money flow coming out, draining out of the asset. Bear divs, money flow bear divs, money flow bear divs, money flow bear divs. Okay, I use 941 just in case there's a wick through the 886. Okay, I see BG 941. Guys, if you are interested, thank you, Mark Dutch, for posting the link in the description. If you are interested in joining my Telegram and seeing some of my trade setups and my analysis ahead of time, the link is in the description of this video. All that you need to do to enter that Telegram community is use my affiliate link for BYDFI. You sign up and you deposit at least $100 into your account. That $100 is your money to trade with. You'll get a 50% deposit bonus, and you'll get 20% discounts on trading fees, and you can get access to the Telegram community. Now, once you've deposited the money into BYDFI, all you have to do is click the Telegram link in the description, and you're going to type in /verify, and then whatever your user ID, which would be right up here, is, and that'll get you access to that Telegram community. So if you want to join me, everyone is welcome in, and I would love to see you there. And Mark posted the link in the description, in the chat here. So thank you for that, Mark. Face reveal, please. I'm thinking about doing a face reveal. We'll see. You know, the thing for me is crypto is still the Wild West, and I already have enough scammers try to get at me on a daily basis, and I just don't want to reveal my face quite yet because they try hard. They really do try hard to get at me. So it's more of a security thing. YouTube, a guy called Street Tips. He makes them from scratch, shows the whole process, excluding the silver needed. It'll cost roughly $1,200. That's not bad to get the full setup. Wow, cool. BG, thank you, man. I'll look into that because if that's actually real, that could be very profitable. Sudeep, you used to be a chemist. Wow. Okay, so what do you think of that? Is that possible, or is that something? Yeah, I would like to know what you think about that. Maybe after you watch that in a week or so, Sudeep, you could let me know about that. It's actually very, very easy. It's the chemicals needed. Okay, cool. Time Attack, what's up, man? Welcome in. Thank you for being here. Or as Mark Dutch says, time with Dick. Welcome in. $13K BTC, man. You know, ZMX, anything is possible. And like, if we have, I just don't think we're ever going to go that low again unless something bad happens to Bitcoin, like a 51% attack, or maybe stagflation. Maybe the whole world goes into stagflation. But even so, Bitcoin might be your only, Bitcoin and gold and precious metals might be your only reprieve from that. So who knows? I'm not going to try to speculate that. Bull bear divs only play to support resistance peeps, the 365 moving average on the weekly and monthly, and you'll find the support off bear div. Okay, So 365 MA. So let me go in here. Moving averages. Okay. And let me just we'll just look out the 365. So that one is 10, and we'll come down here. We'll type in 365. And you said on the weekly, okay. So let's see. The 365 moving average on the weekly and monthly, and you'll find the support off bear divs. Well, 365 moving average on the weekly is at 39.8 ish, about 40K. But yeah, I mean, nice bounce there. Let's see how it looks coming back here. Okay. Let me go to the monthly chart. Hopefully that loads up. Yeah, 365 months. I'm not sure there's even been 365 months. All right, let's see here. Top was in. Welcome to the bear market. Now I gotta cancel the Lambo. Don't cancel the Lambo. Yeah, time attack. I appreciate that, man. I think it's a win-win too, guys. So BYDFI gives you the best discounts. They match the best other exchanges as far as your discounts go. You have the highest initial deposit bonus of 50% if you deposit $100, and they're very competitive with the higher amounts of deposits. And the Telegram's free, so you get the free money, you get the free initial deposits, you get the discounts on trading fees, you get access to the Telegram, which is free, and it's been a great exchange for me. I've never had a problem with it, and their agents, especially my rep in particular, is very very responsive, very awesome. So no pressure there, nothing like that. But if you guys want to join, you're always welcome to. And of course, I appreciate you guys being in the community, and I think we're building a decent community here. Of course, it's young into the life of the community. It's not quite like some of the other bigger guys out there, but I think we have some good traders in there. Yeah, 365 hasn't appeared yet on the monthly. Yep. You can still short your way to. You're right, Graham. You're right. We can still short our way to a Lambo, and that's what's great about being a trader. Okay, so guys, we are dropping. Remember at the beginning of the live stream, I said if we do bounce from the VWAP, then we could get a move back up, continuing the bullish momentum for the day. Bounce, bounce, and continue bullish momentum for the day. So let's watch that VWAP. I want to check out our order flow real quick. Now, here, this is interesting, actually, guys. This is aggregated open interest, so this takes into account all of the major exchanges, or most of the major exchanges, I should say. But we are seeing bullish CVD absorption. So we are making higher lows on Bitcoin. We are making lower lows on the CVD here. And the open interest is overall rising here. So we are seeing bullish CVD absorption happen right now on the charts on Bitcoin. So what would that tell me? If this drop happens, I would at least be taking some profit at the golden pocket because of that. Probably at least 50% or maybe even 75% at that golden pocket. Because like I said earlier in the stream, we could just be coming down to take out that quick crash that happened during Jason's live stream. We could be coming down to SFP, those intraday lows, into your golden pocket, and then you could get another move back up. So let's keep an eye on the VWAP that's coming up. And then if we break the VWAP, I would be looking at the SFP of 1087. And if we don't hold that, I mean, your 786 is near the value area low and it's near your anchored VWAP. So I would say that could be another support as well. If we're just going to continue to chop around the anchored VWAP, which we often do. Okay. Aster. Yes, we'll look at Aster here. And I believe I was looking at Bybit. There we go. Okay, so for Aster, we were in this kind of triangle as well. We did bounce from the bottom of the triangle. Last time we looked at it, we were right around this area. But look at this. So we had our triangle in here. We bounced from the bottom, and then now we're rejecting. And if you zoom out onto like the 4 hour, the reason why I put this trend line here is because it was from this low to this low, and then it wicked past it a little bit, but that was pretty much your low. That's your trend, is from this low to this low. So, or this, yeah, this low to this higher low, excuse me. But you can see we lost the channel or the triangle, made new lows, and now we're coming up for a bearish back test, and it looks like we're rejecting this. And we've already grabbed the liquidity here, but we have not grabbed the liquidity at the bottom of the crash yet. So maybe we're going to come now, grab the liquidity that we front ran on the low. You can see this low from Wednesday. We had front run the liquidity grab. So now we have a kind of semi-equal lows down here. And it could be likely that we're going to continue crashing and to grab those lows. Let me pull this volume profile. Yeah, and we're still below your value area low of your range. So for me, it's likely that we're going to continue down. Let's pull a couple Fibonacci's here. We'll pull a Fibonacci from these lower highs, these important lower highs to the lows. And we'll turn on our golden pocket. Yeah, you're rejecting your golden pocket in confluence with the back test of your triangle, and you're rejecting it. So I think it's highly likely that we do continue this bearish trend. Low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, come down and grab liquidity, lower low. So yeah, I'm going to be looking for that. Now, if you shorted this golden pocket at 113, 114, in this scenario, there is a scenario where that is going to be the bottom and we are going to front run. Unlikely, less probable, but there is a scenario. I would pull my fib from the lows on Wednesday to the highs that we made today. And around this golden pocket area, you could look golden pocket 786. You could look for some sort of TP in there. Let's check to see if we have any naked daily points of control. We don't. Let's check to see if we have any daily levels. Yeah, we do have a daily level. And then let's just go in onto the 1 hour. Do we have any order blocks? We do have an order block, a 1 hour order block in here. But it's in between your golden pocket and 786. I don't like that too much. Man, yeah, to me, it looks a little bit bearish. It looks like we could keep continuing down here. 4 hour money flow is about to roll over. It's about to roll over on NAMI as well. Rejecting the triangle, rejecting the golden pocket below your value area low. So it does, it's likely to me that we do continue dropping here. And even if you wanted to, you could pull a smaller range of just this bottoming price action in here that is forming. So we'll pull that volume profile. Man, there's not much, yeah, not much confluence within that volume profile. Let me just do this. Rejected value area high, lost POC, rejected POC, lost value area low. You're trying to reclaim value area low. Very small chance you could bounce from 105.8 and get back inside of this thing, but to me, it's likely that we do continue down. And this pump here was on the Binance news. So just like BNB, I told you guys I was going to go through BNB. Just like BNB, we had that aggressive buying that came in on the news. And oftentimes that is the perfect catalyst to trick late longers, and then you see the dump. So here's the thing on BNB, guys. BNB rejected the top of our macro pitchfork perfectly. I shorted up here, by the way. And I had it open for this big drop. but I had taken 90% out by the time we hit that big drop. So it wasn't the best. I wish I would have held more. But BNB has been a beast. If we look at BNB here on our macro pitchfork, we bounced from the bottom of the pitchfork multiple times. 1 bounce, 2 bounce, 3 bounce, 4 bounces from the bottom of the pitchfork. Of course, we had those choppy ranges that formed within the band, kind of choppy range around the band that formed. Broke up, we hit into our pitchfork midline, saw a triangle just like we're seeing now, and then we were able to bust up above the midline, flip the midline to support, and come up to the top of the pitchfork. But we rejected harshly the top of the pitchfork, and we are now rejecting. So after, let me zoom in onto the 4 hour. After rejecting the top of the pitchfork, what did we do? We lost this band. We back tested the band, made a higher low, back tested the band again, took out our liquidity just today, but we're still rejecting the band. So I'm actually looking to come down to this golden pocket. And the reason why I'm looking to come down there is because we have liquidity down here into that golden pocket. And because we are rejecting multiple times this pitchfork band. Now, if we would have got back in, I was also looking at a potential short from this golden pocket. This golden pocket is pulled from the highs to the lows. That's your golden pocket, and you can see it's in perfect confluence with the upper part of the band. So for me, there was a potential that we could be seeing a 3-wave corrective move up to that golden pocket before seeing a move down to the midline. But we SFP'd the range highs of this small range that's forming right here. Small range forming here. We SFP'd the highs and we rejected the pitchfork band. So I shorted as soon as we confirmed that SFP earlier today. We're trying to hold the VWAP here. Let me actually check this trade. And guys, I do have to leave soon. I have a scheduled call very shortly here. Okay. There we go. Okay. So yes, I think we might be able to move down to this golden pocket and take out this liquidity. So I'll leave some of that trade open, most of that trade open until we get down there. 1029 to about 1013. Liquidity grabs into golden pockets are key, and we had a liquidity grab earlier today of the top of the range. Trying to hold. So right now we're going through kind of a back test of the value area high. If we reject here, we're going to keep dropping. So you're either going to lose the VWAP or the VWAP's going to hold right now, and it's going to start pushing back up again, potentially up to that area. But anyways, guys, I will be live tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, same time as today. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you all so much for being part of this community. 3K subscribers. I really do appreciate every single one of you and all the kind comments you give me. All the mods in here. Thank you, all the mods, for all you do. Mark, for always posting. Time Attack, R Pink, Abir. Thank you guys so much. And yeah, hit the like button on your way out, guys. If you learned anything today or got any sort of insight into the market, please hit the like button on your way out. And